UNI Research got together a group of people that we could come together and speak about different experiences that us individuals have had. And it has, for me, it has been a relief. It's been nice to be able to sit down and talk to other people that have had similar experiences, have gone through similar experiences.
How about some of the friends that you've met in the group? Tell me a little bit about them.
Well, I've known Reggie. My first meeting with Reggie was him coming to my house and reading what was there. I've been able to speak with him and talk with him about some of the things. And my friend Barb has come with me because she's had plenty of experiences. But it's also nice to meet new people that have also come to the group and have brought in their outlook on their experience and how they've dealt with it and how they're able to live with what they've had experienced.
Being an intuitive consultant for UNI Research has taught me that this group is there to, as it says, you and I. We all experience things, and I want the people to realize you're not alone. And if you want to talk to someone that is not going to be judgmental, they'll accept you for who you are. What I do is I share stories and messages from the spirits to the living.
I had my first paranormal experience 15 years ago when myself, John Griffin, and our first paranormal team went to a house and we ended up having a few experiences. I ended up seeing a ghostly face flash in front of my eyes, and we had a few experiences where we had questions answered by other spirits in said house. All I can say is that my eyes were opened more on that night than any other night that I've ever talked with John or any of our paranormal team about the subject, and it's just been very enlightening to me. As far as telling anybody about the experience that I've had, the only people that I've actually told are my wife and maybe a couple of family members. The response I got was very different when it came to each person. My wife was a little bit unnerved at the time when I told her, but after a few years she grew to accept the fact that there is something greater out there than we are aware of at times. My other family members just dismissed it. They thought that I was just looking for attention. Society as a whole, as I said, I've never really told anybody else because of the fear of them thinking that I'm crazier than they already think I am. But as far as just the experience itself, it's just, as I said, it's been eye-opening, and it's opened my wife's eyes as well, but that's pretty much the only people I've told. Joining the paranormal support group that I'm a part of with UNI Research is probably one of the greater things I've done. It's been a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Supportive group. It's been a very positive group. Basically knowing that there are other people in the group that have had similar experiences to mine, and also believing in the same kind of things that we typically don't believe in normal society has been a blessing to me. Skills I've obtained by being a part of this group are the fact that I am now able to detect energy readings, able to detect emotion a lot more frequently than before. It could be the fact of the job I work at, that when I'm down in the location of my work, there is a lot of both anger, there's a lot of depression, there is a lot of negative emotions, shall we say, that I have to deal with. And having to go ahead and just deal with all that is not very easy. But the abilities that have been opened up to me have been a blessing and a curse. When, as a blessing, they allow me to read people very easily, a lot more than before. Curse, as I said, with work, it's not very easy sometimes. In terms of leadership skills, I feel like I've evolved more as a leader than I was before. I'm able to be a teacher to others as well. I'm able to be basically what's the word I'm looking for? A trainer to others and be able to teach them better. As far as detective skills, when it comes to an investigation that we do, I've learned a lot more from John and the group to be able to put those skills to better use and to find answers better than I was a long time ago. Situation I can bring up on that was when we had our first paranormal group. We were doing an investigation and John gave me a tool known as a thermo reader. Not knowing what to do with it and being as young as I was at the time, I would simply just point and click, and basically found out years later that I was using the tool wrong. So knowing now what I did not know then has helped quite a bit.
I have had many paranormal experiences, starting from a very small child. At first I was very frightened, and I've been frightened up until recently, I'd say. It's affected me, I don't know how to quite say. It's made me apprehensive about paranormal things, and because I know they exist. I know that from my own experiences, but I've only known pretty much the frightening aspect of it, not an adventurous aspect of it or a good aspect to it. Well, thank goodness, with my experiences with the paranormal, I was able to speak freely to my parents and my siblings, and come to find out we've all had paranormal experiences. So we talked with each other about all our experiences. So I never was put down about it. Everyone's always understood, and with my friends I've found out that more and more people that I know have had paranormal experiences. So in a way I've had a good, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. You know, when somebody's got your back, a good reinforcement, as far as, oh God, I joined the paranormal support group to find out more about the paranormal, because I've known so many people that have had the same experiences or worse, and come to find out that many things that I've experienced, I really don't feel like that I should be frightened any longer. I don't believe that anything was ever out to get me. I think that I've had some life lessons taught, but other than that, maybe even people or other realms trying to communicate with me, but not in a benevolent sort of way. The skills I've always, thank goodness, I've always had good skills reading people. Being a hairdresser has always come in handy, and I've always had a sense of what people are feeling deeper than I think a lot of people can, and it's helped me immensely in relationships. And I feel with the course, it's only deepened that even more. I feel like I'm becoming attuned with my inner self and my abilities. I'm beginning to realize that they are real. They are there. It just, I can better, I don't want to say judge people, because that's not You don't judge anybody. I realize that nobody is that different than I am. That we all have things have happened to us. We all have had many different experiences, and we're all on an equal playing field as far as that goes. And I think it's helped me realize that more. I think my investigative skills are more enhanced than they were. I before I never had a inkling to want to do that, and now I want to push for that. I want to be able to figure new things out, and I realize that just what we see isn't all that's there. There's more out there, and I want to embrace it, and I want to go for it.
Well, I've had a few paranormal experiences on my own and with my 2 children. It was very fascinating and makes you want to think what's beyond what you hear or see. It impacted my life a little bit, you know. It makes you think about what's on the other side, what's around the corner. Me and my children, we did it, and we had a lot of fun, so it was very rememberative. And we just kept it between us, really didn't say too much to anybody about it. My mom knew about it, my dad, because we did a little thing at this one place that my mother was in charge of. But for the past, since the early 90s, it was a good thing. Anybody in the group doesn't have to worry about what they say or worry about someone mocking them or making fun of them or ridiculing them. The investigation part where, you know, like if you're looking at something and one person says, well, this is what it is. Well, wait a minute. We got to look beyond this because it could be something else, something different. And the investigation part is that's the most exciting part because, you know, you get to try to outthink the thinker, and it's exciting.
I've had very few experiences when I was younger. My mother had had a lot of experiences. That's why I believe in what I believe, that there is someone on the other side, family, relatives. We discuss how apparitions form, the tools that are used, things that I never knew before, and it's been explained to all of us. And everybody puts their input in, and it comes together like a puzzle, hence the name. Everybody's very sweet. I have my own beliefs of angels, which is a spiritual, and nobody has put me down or disrespected me for that, and I don't have a psychic ability where they're hearing or dreaming or being able to feel. I don't have the intuition like a lot of people have. But in general, I'm enjoying the group and I'm learning more than I ever knew. There's no fear on the other side. I'll do a little bit about my experiences with what I'm good at, and that would be with the angels. Things like that. That's hard to explain. It takes too long to describe exactly what I'm talking about. But people don't want to believe my thoughts on when you pass away, when you cross over, you're just leaving your body. It's a shell, and you're crossing over into a different plane. And a lot of people roll their eyeballs at that, but it makes me feel like I have learned a lot myself. And I'm trying to teach, and nobody's listening, so that's a little frustrating. And I'm 53 years old now, and I have learned so much in the last 10 years about the spiritual side that it's not the end when we die. Life goes on. And a lot of people just, I don't know if they're ignorant or they're afraid and they just choose not to believe or don't want to hear it. It's too far-fetched, it's too crazy. Now I have a better understanding of the tools that are used. If there's a spirit, why is there a spirit? There's always a question why. You go on and you may answer that question and then you go on to, okay, but like we talk about the water. If there's a spirit around, usually there's water around. Well, why would the spirit come around the water? and answer that question, and then it leads to another question. It's always why, never ending. You don't just jump at a conclusion and say, oh, that's it, that must be the spirit, that's the reason why it was there. You keep going on, continuously ask questions over and over again. So we were taught to continuously ask questions, why this happened. Once that's explained, you go on to explain continuously on why it doesn't end.
I have heard voices, and I have smelled smells, and basically it confused me. If I was not amongst the people that I've been around, I would be afraid. I have told my other friends about my smelling smells and my hearing voices and stuff like that. But other than that, and they've all been fine with it. It has opened my mind. It's made me much more aware of what's going on. I've opened my mind and I've opened my eyes to what's going on around me. And that's about it.